clapping already. We clapping off. Miss Akasia Lee Nicholas.
I am excited to be here today amongst like-minded women. When I got the call about 2 weeks ago, Chris said, well, we know that you're an author, but we know you have good food. Well, what do you want? You want the book or you want the food? But they go hand in hand. So let me just tell you a little bit about who I am, because it would take me longer than 10 minutes. My name is Akasia Lee Nicholas. I am the author of Out of Bounds. I am the founder of the Shirros. I am a woman of many hats, okay? I started out 2010 writing my book. I owned a home health care agency, and my agency was closed down right up here on West Bank Expressway. The name of it was A New Beginning. Federal government came in, closed my agency down. I served 5 years in a federal prison. Well, I was sentenced to 60 months. Served about 46 months in a federal prison. Millionaire status, never been big on stuff, but just always had smart. Didn't have no degrees when I started my business, but I was smart. So, of course, when the government came in and closed my business down, some of the things I knew what was going on, some of it I didn't. But because I accepted responsibility and I owned the company, I was sentenced to 60 months in prison. It was okay. I self-surrendered December of 2009. I was indicted in '05, but because Hurricane Katrina came, the whole world stopped. So nobody moved, nobody go to jail. They just investigate. Self-surrendered December of 2009 to Florida, Mariana, federal prison camp. I got there, and the first 9 months was living hell, because I still wanted to take care of everything that I took care of when I was on the street. But it's a different ball game once you get behind those walls. You can't call and tell nobody to do this. You can't make nobody do that. You listening to somebody else. A turning point. I woke up in my cell and I said, God, there has to be more to life than this. Here I am, was calling the shots and not somebody telling me when I could eat, when I can sleep, how much money I can spend, if I can call home. I left 2 kids at the time. My son was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 2. When I left, he was about 18. My daughter was about 9 when I left. But couldn't do nothing. I'm in jail. So I said, God, there has to be more to life than this. He said to me, surrender, November of 2010. All I remember, Cree, was throwing up my hands in the air, rolling out of my bunk, and I said, God, I give it all to you. Because it's clear I tried it my way, and here I am in a jail cell. At the time, I was in this cell. It was called the SHU, the Segregated Housing Unit, because I was being transferred from one facility to another. And I said, what does the word surrender mean? Because I thought I was doing all of that. I was tithing, I was giving out. He said, write the vision. Habakkuk 2:1-5. Write the vision, make it plain. Though the vision may tarry, at an appointed time it'll surely come to pass. He said to me, you are an eagle soar. They can see far more than the naked eye can see. And I am going to use you in ways that you have never been used before. And I said, me? He said, yes, you. November of 2010. I was released in June of 2013. Came home, I had 2 kids. The children looking at me like, what you gonna do now? When you was calling home, you saying we was going to Disney World, we going to do this, we going to do that. But once my feet hit the ground, it was nothing like I thought it would be, because it was nothing like it was when I left. Here I was the one writing checks, giving everybody what they asked for, and everybody looking at me like, go get it out the hole in the ground. Because according to what Medicaid said, you had $3.9 million. But one thing about people that I don't understand is, just because that's what the newspaper said, that ain't what Akasia had. Overhead, bills, brick and mortar, all those things. So anyway, I come home and I wrote this book when I was in the SHU. Came home and sat in my office for about 5 years. 2019, God said, it's time to release your story. I released the book March 31st, 2019. My son died 2 days later. Epilepsy, had him with me all day April 2nd, dropped him off, got a phone call. He was dead in his apartment for 16 hours from a seizure. So I went back to the same God and I said, how you tell me you're going to use me and I forgive people, I ask for forgiveness because I know I'm not perfect. But you take my only son? How? That's not a part of the plan. He said to me he was mine first. I gave my only begotten son. So now what? So because I believe God, I decided to do what he told me to do. Lean not to my own understanding, but in all ways acknowledge him, and he will direct my path. So that's where the Shirro was coming at. Because I knew somebody had to be going through the same pain I was going through. So let's get together. So that's what I do in addition to that. But what God has done for me, since I decided to follow him, he placed me right back where the enemy thought he was sabotaging me, in the face of the enemy. My restaurant sits on the corner of 5600 West Bank Expressway. I have several books that I have not released, and I also do a lot of things in the community. Jefferson Parish hadn't had a parade in over 30 years. I brought back Mardi Gras to Jefferson Parish. There are two other crews that has come behind me. I'm the captain and founder of the Culinary Queens of New Orleans. No, we do not parade anymore, but my nonprofit is still in full effect. You can find me giving away to the community twice a week at my café. I feed the seniors, and once a month we do a big community outreach to feed the seniors. So I'm trying to be impactful, not trying, I am very impactful in the community. Been around for quite some time and have a lot more to do. So I believe God, out of bounds, because at that point in my life, being in prison, I was definitely out of bounds. Definitely out of bounds. So my book is $20. I have different signature items in the back. So stop by and check me out.